Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So this is a little strange because this is part of my DVD collection videos, which I started about 2 weeks ago. I cranked the first 3 parts out like within a couple of days. And then here it is 2 weeks later. Now I'm finally filming the 4th part, the last part. Meanwhile, the first 3 videos have gotten quite a number of views, at least, in relation to my channel. I mean, the first video actually got like over 100 views, which doesn't sound like much, but for my channel, that's a lot. In fact, I only have one other video on my channel that has more than 100 views, and that took years. So anyway, those were the first 3 parts, and this is part 4. This will be the last one as far as DVDs go, and I got 12 of them to show you. In fact, the first one is one that I showed in part 3 at the very end. I just want to show it again. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and do that. See, this is M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable. At the end of the last video, I was showing you guys this, but it didn't come out so good because, well, first of all, most of the DVD, how it's, packaged, it's very dark in color. I mean, it's mostly black. And when I was filming that, it was like real late in the day and it was getting dark, and therefore you really couldn't see this very well. Whereas right now you can see this a lot better. So I'm just going to show you this again. This was the follow-up to Sixth Sense. M. Night Shyamalan directed it. It starred Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Glass. And it came in this box. Where if you take a look here, you can see it's a Vista film, and that's on the spine. And then on the back here, it just shows a Peter Travers review, special features, what it includes. Yeah, this is definitely more legible than the last time. And a description of what the movie's about. And also some legal information on the bottom. So it came in this packaging where if you open it up like that, you can see Unbreakable. So it comes out like this. Where there's Samuel L., there's Bruce Willis. I'll show you the other side of that, where it shows basically the same thing as in the back of the box, where it just has, the name of the movie, who's in it, and the legal information, and the spine is also the same as the box it came in. So let's open these up. So yeah, the last time I couldn't even read this, but now you can clearly read this. I believe comic book heroes walk the earth. And here's another quote. The scariest thing is not, I guess, knowing your place. And here is another quote, something to do with, what does it say here? They say this one has a surprise ending. Well, of course it does. It's M. Night Shyamalan. That's like his trademark. Anyway, yeah, this is the DVD itself. And this one has special features on it. So that is Unbreakable, which should be a lot clearer than in the last video. Okay. Oh, and I also were trying to show this stuff that was in the DVD. This booklet, which has information about M. Night Shyamalan. Here it shows contents, almost like the different chapters. Here you have more information, the art revealed. It folds out. The train station multi-angle feature. So Yeah, I think this shows like all the stuff that's in there that you can really dive into. Comic books and superheroes with Samuel L. Jackson. He played Mr. Glass again. So yeah, there's some stills from the film. This is the scene in the train station. This comes out like that. That was the superheroes part. These are deleted scenes that are also part of DVD. And this is the search index for the movie. So yeah, now you can really see what's in the booklet. I think there's one other item. It was this card. I guess Alex Ross is the designer. That's his signature of Mr. Glass and our hero, Bruce Willis. Okay. That was Unbreakable. Now let's get to the ones we haven't seen yet in my series. So let's start with this one. Sling Blade. This came out in 1996. This was directed, I believe, by Billy Bob Thornton, but it stars Billy Bob Thornton. And obviously it got a lot of rave reviews. It's where he's almost unrecognizable. Billy Bob plays Carl, which they call a simple man, which is a nice way of putting it. And he just has a strange way of speaking. He's like, yeah, I used the sling blade. Just that manner of speaking. It takes place in the Deep South. And he's basically, freed from a mental institution where he had to stay after killing someone. And so he meets this young boy and his mother, and a man played by Dwight Yoakam, who he gave a really good performance in this, who was abusive towards, the boy and his mother. And Carl's a witness to this, and he does something about it near the end. Won't give it away. So let's take a look at this DVD. It's widescreen. Let's look at the back. More rave reviews, and here is the story about Carl, and it's an extraordinary performance. So the special features include, subtitles, chapter search, so not really that much in terms of special features, but anyway, here is who was involved in the film. Does it say who directed it? I thought it was Billy Bob. He certainly wrote the story, as you can see here, written by Billy Bob Thornton. But it looks like it was directed by someone else. So let's see what else is here. So this was a Miramax film, apparently. Some other people were involved in terms of acting. Oh, yeah. In case you didn't know, J.T. Walsh and Robert Duvall, two excellent actors, are in this, as well as John Ritter. Yes, John Ritter. And some legal information down there. So this is the spine of the film, and let's pop it open and see if there's anything in there. So here's the DVD. Let's flip it so that it's kind of hard to see in this light. In fact, the irony was that with Unbreakable it was too dark, and now here it's too light to see it, but you can see here it says Sling Blade and all the other stuff here. And the booklet has the search index. You can, skip to a certain chapter, and if you take this out, there is just Carl Sling Blade. Yes, that's Sling Blade. Honestly, I think this is a good movie. Once you get past Carl's voice, I think you'll find this is well done. So check it out. Of course, there are a few abusive scenes in there, and it's hard to take, but, still worth a watch. Okay, next film. Interesting movie. Three Kings, a David O. Russell film. So this is one of those movies that also got critical acclaim, but I don't think that many people heard of it, even though it starred George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg and Ice Cube. So this movie came out in 1999, and it is about Operation Desert Storm, where you have these three soldiers who discover that there is some hidden gold, like bullion, and I believe it's called bullion. Anyway, and so they attempt to find it, but it's also a lot of commentary about the war and stuff like that. Let's take a look and see what the DVD looks like. And back, first of all, so, you know, a review here that praises the film. Yeah, it's also like, it's shocking, but it's also, you know, has some funny moments and a lot of, you know, a lot of things to make you think about during the film. It may not be for you, but I think it's very good. Here are the special features here. You got documentaries, film commentaries. That's what I was going to say. Commentary, documentary, interviews, stills gallery, also just other features in regards to languages, subtitles, trailers, etc. Here it shows who was in it. Oh, and Spike Jonze, you know, who's known for directing, he has a big role in this movie as an actor. And Jamie Kennedy is in it also. Yeah, that's true story. So this was released by Warner Brothers. Again, this is the year 1999. So of course, you know, it's got this something for your PC that you can put in your computer and you can watch special things on that as well. Here's some legal information down here. And let's open this up. This is one of those, you know, it's got that thing you pop off on this side. There you go. Oh, and that's the spine. So you pop that. Here's the DVD. Looks pretty nice. Well, it's desert. Yeah, Three Kings. So here it shows. It does it come out? Yes, it does come out. Well, let's take a look at this first. It has some stills from the film, as you can see here. So, does it have anything else inside that? No, just this, which explains all the special features, enhancements, and here's the scene index, which shows you all the chapters. So that is Three Kings, a movie that I like to watch every once in a while. I think it's good. Maybe not for you, but, you know, give it a try. This one is called Murder in the First. This came out in 1995, I believe, and stars Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon, and Gary Oldman. The trial that brought down Alcatraz. Basically, Kevin Bacon, and an extraordinary performance by Kevin Bacon. Really good. He plays a guy who committed a simple crime, but was sent to Alcatraz, and he commits a crime while in Alcatraz. And Christian Slater is his lawyer, his defender in that case. And basically it's, you know, about Alcatraz itself. Gary Oldman plays the warden. And what happened, you know, in this particular trial has an effect on the Alcatraz prison, without giving too much away. So let's take a look at the DVD itself. We turn it around. Terrific performances. Here's a rave review. So this explains what the movie is about. And he's accused of murder while he's in prison because he killed someone while in prison. But did he? You know, is he guilty? I guess that's really the question here. So special features. Let's take a look here. So we have interactive menus, we have scene access, subtitles, and it's a Warner Brothers film, and it shows who acted in it, any other people of note that were in the film. None that I can recognize right off the bat, but a lot of good performances, I think. Again, Warner Brothers, and here's legal information down there. Here's the spine, and another one that pops out like this. like so. Let's open it. And so this is the DVD. It's one of those where one side, it's widescreen, and if you flip it around, it's standard. So that is the DVD itself, quite reflective. And this is what's inside here. It's just a scene index, which shows you all the chapters of the film. Again, a film that's, not easy to take. It has a few torture scenes, but it's very good. Very well done film. I think it's, I think it's worth a watch. Okay, next one. Deep Cover. So this one came out in the year 1992. It stars Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum. There's a thin line between catching a criminal and becoming one. Basically, this is a movie where Lawrence Fishburne plays a guy in the force who goes undercover. He is tasked with infiltrating, drug. It's not so much a mafia. It's just, he becomes a drug dealer. He works his way to the top of the food chain, in the drug game. And Jeff Goldblum is involved. He's also a lawyer at the same time. It's a very interesting movie. I like it. Let's go ahead and flip this over. It's more than just a movie. Contents include, of course, widescreen and full screen, trailer, and biographies and filmographies. So that's what I meant by interactive menus. So it shows what the movie is about, and it also has, a listing of the cast that's in it. I think this is a New Line Cinema film. And on the bottom here, you have the legal information. So let's go ahead and pop this open and see what's in it. And so here it is, the DVD for Deep Cover. Again, New Line home video. And here is the chapter stops. So yeah, these are the chapters. These are care tips on how to care for your DVD. You think you would know that automatically, but anyway. And it says press the menu key to access their, special features, which I also would think would be obvious. But anyway. Oh, one more thing to note as I turn this around once more. It shows cast here, Larry Fishburne instead of, Lawrence Fishburne, which is funny because people know him as Lawrence, but at one point he was Larry. Like in the early movies, like I think Boys in the Hood, he was also called Larry. And the movies he did with Spike Lee. Anyway, Deep Cover, good movie. Okay, how about this one? Hoosiers. So this came out in 1986, I believe, and it stars Gene Hackman as a basketball coach. He gets hired by a high school to become their basketball coach, and I guess he is first, questioned, why is he coaching a high school when he used to coach at a higher level? Like he must have done something, bad to cause this, demotion. But anyway, Gene Hackman is the coach. Dennis Hopper, very good performance, plays an assistant coach who struggles to stay sober. And I guess this kid plays like the star player of the team. And, they're from a small town in the middle of nowhere. Well, in the middle of Indiana, but nowhere in Indiana. That's why it's called Hoosiers, because, it takes place in Indiana. And they do so well, they advance, all the way, to like the state finals or something like that. So one of those feel-good movies. It's an MGM film. Let's flip this around. A Wonderful Sports Movie, Hoosiers Works Magic. Here it shows the description of the movie, and here's some special features, collectible booklet, and original trailer, and shows who starred in it, who directed it, the writer, music, etc., and some legal information. So let's open this up and see what's inside of it. So here is our DVD. Again, it's one of those clear ones that is two-sided. So let's pop this out. You have side one, that is widescreen, and then you flip it around, that is standard. So that's the Hoosiers DVD. And here is that booklet they were talking about, which feels kind of light, but, you know, it starts with a still from the movie, you know, the coach and his players. Here it shows the cast and the names of their characters. And here it shows sports movie that isn't a sports movie. So it just talks about, you know, the movie and what it's about, and inspired by actual events. And here it shows more information about the film and more stills. So the back here has scene selections, and it shows the legal information again, you know, and Orion's picture. So let's go ahead and close that up. Okay, let's see the next one. The next one is a bit of a surprise, but here it goes. Is Malcolm X, the Spike Lee movie. This came out in 1992, and it caused quite a stir when it came out. I think it's a well-done film. It stars Denzel Washington as Malcolm X. It's basically about Malcolm X, the one-time famous member of the Nation of Islam during the 60s. And it shows like from his beginnings when he was just a kid at the streets, you know, committing crimes, to when he goes to prison where he converts, becomes a Muslim, and his rise to fame, and then his assassination. Very long, but very well done movie. Let's flip it around. Some rave reviews about it, and, you know, description of the film itself, and special features like soundtrack, menus, scene access, subtitles, etc. It's a Warner Brothers movie. It has the credits here, you know, who was in it. Angela Bassett is in it. She was very good. And yeah, it just has this legal information down here. So let's flip this around. And by the way, I remember those years, I think the big trend was, you know, caps, like baseball caps that had this X on it. Let's go ahead and open this up. There's a DVD. Denzel is Malcolm X. So let's look over here. So another review of the film and a still from the film where he is Malcolm praying in a mosque. And it opens up like that. So here it shows the scene index and a couple of stills. And yes, Spike Lee performed in the movie, as he always does in his own movies. And here are more scenes where, you know, Spike Lee meets Elijah Muhammad. And yeah, that's pretty much the contents of this packaging. Malcolm X. So they go in another direction, and I guess these next few DVDs are going to get people a little triggered, but here goes. Mel Gibson, Braveheart. Yeah, a lot of alpha male energy in this one, but it's very well done. I mean, yeah, it won the Oscar, you know, of course it did, but still, I think this movie is well done. Give Mel Gibson this much. He knows how to make a film. despite him being totally problematic. Every man dies, but not every man really lives. So this movie was about William Wallace. He was a Scotsman who I guess wanted to live a simple Scottish life, but, you know, the English army was messing with him, so then he gets his revenge. He leads a Scottish army to fight the English, and, you know, it's a rousing action film. So this is a widescreen film released by Paramount. Let's flip it over. So here you see some rave reviews about it, special features. So surround, Dolby Surround, subtitles, menus, scene selection, trailers, etc. So yeah, he directed this film, Mel Gibson did, and starred as William Wallace, who fights the king here. I believe this was, Jesus, which king was this? I forget. Well, King of England, but I forget his name. King Richard? I feel like it's King Richard, but I may well be wrong. It has scenes of romance, scenes of battle. So here is the casting in the film, and of course some legal information down here. So we open this up and we see the DVD itself like that. And here is the booklet, which has quite a few things in it. So let's get it out of here. Also has another booklet, which I think is just a promotion for Paramount. Well, we can look at that in a bit. First, let's look at this one. So there's Braveheart. Open it up. Edward, that's the king. Edward Longshanks. So that's the king that William Wallace has to fight against. And so it tells the story about Braveheart. It has some stills from the movie. And also on the back of this, it has a scene selection. So you can choose the different chapters here. And the other booklet shows Paramount Pictures, which just basically is a catalog of all the Paramount DVDs that you can get. Some of these I actually have. Hunt for Red October, there's that. At least by the time this DVD was released, I think I got this in like 2000 or something like that. So basically movies up to then. And yeah, that is Braveheart. Speaking of machismo, look at this one. 300 widescreen edition. This is Sparta. Yep, Gerard Butler as King Leonidas. As, just like William Wallace, William Wallace was not a king. Leonidas was a king of Sparta who gets threatened by the Persians and Xerxes, and he has 300 soldiers fight against the entire Persian army. And they didn't exactly win, but you know, they're so inspiring that all of Greece went after Persia. I mean, come on, you know the story, right? Anyway, I remember in the 2000s, this sparked a lot of memes, but it was a well-done film. Zack Snyder, right? He directed this, didn't he? Anyway, so this is a Warner Brothers film. Flip this over. So it shows, you know, someone praising it. It says, groundbreaking is The Matrix. I mean, that's really the main thing about this. It's the visuals. So this was written by Frank Miller. And it shows like, you know, it's almost like a comic book, the way it's put together. And see, there's Zack Snyder. He directed it. And also shows, you know, Gerard Butler as King Leonidas and 300 Spartans fight against Xerxes, so on. Here it shows special features, commentary, and subtitles, and what have you. Here's the cast. Here's some legal information on the bottom. So let's pop this open. Take a look. there's the DVD. 300 with no booklet. All right. So this is funny. So we're going to go from this, which is, balls to the wall, fighting and, Sparta. And from that, we're going to go to this. Yes. Cats. The Broadway style of Cats. This is a DVD. You know what? I'm not ashamed. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Believe me, there's a DVD at the end of this video that I am ashamed of having. It's not this one. Because remember 2019? It was only like a few years ago when the actual theater movie Cats came out, the one with Taylor Swift, and it was widely panned. Probably deserved to be. But basically this is it's widescreen. And this was a performance of Cats that was aired in public television, and I think somewhere in the late 90s, I think 98 or 99, maybe 2000. But it's basically the play, but with no audience. And the camera is it's on the stage itself, filming all the characters, like Mr. Mistopheles and who are the other characters? The rail riding cat. I used to memorize all the names of these cats. I forgot most of them. Old Deuteronomy, they're slowly coming back to me. You know the story, don't you? If there's not much of a story, it's really just poems all put together in a musical. But the story is just these cats that are out there, and one of them gets ascended to a higher plane. Basically, the cat dies, and they have to choose which one. And there's this really old woman that is shunned. She's the one that sings Memory, and they choose her, and if you know, you know. Let's go ahead and see the back of this here. As you'll never see it again, I guess. So yeah, it just shows the play that was written in the 80s by Andrew Lloyd Webber. It was a big Broadway hit. And yeah, there's the song Memory, which also was famous. So it shows the making of Cats, the interactive menus. It has some credits here. It was released by Universal. Yeah, so I have a Cats movie on DVD, believe it or not. Pop it open. Here's the DVD itself. And no booklet. And yup, Cats. Don't judge. All right. Couple more to show you. I know this is long. This took over half an hour. So this is really cool. This is awesome. One of the greatest rock movies ever made, definitely. So this is Stop Making Sense, which is essentially a Talking Heads concert. Talking Heads, innovative band. They started in the late 70s. I think their most famous song at the time was Psycho Killer. Through the 80s, they got more popular. This was in 1984 when I think their popularity was at its peak. And David Byrne, the lead singer, he was known during that particular concert series for, in one song or two, he wore an extra large suit and was dancing around in it. So this is a widescreen version. The concert's great, a lot of great performances. If you like Talking Heads, you need to see this movie. So here in the back, it just shows a rave review, and it shows the information about a concert film directed by Jonathan Demme, the guy who directed Silence of the Lambs. Here it shows the DVD features, bonus tracks, and audio commentary, and here are the songs in it. Awesome. Okay, let's pop this open and see David Byrne. Well, let's look at the DVD first. There's the DVD right there. The booklet has I guess, some stills from the concert. And here's some special features that it talks about. Stereo mix, commentary, storyboard. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So what's on the back? Again, it shows credits and special thanks. And some more stills. Yeah, stop making sense. Okay, one more to show you, and this is kind of regrettable because this is not a very good movie, and someone gifted it to me, and I couldn't get rid of it. But one interesting thing about it, let me go ahead and show this to you. The toy. So, it stars Richard Pryor, who I guess is a guy that works in a toy store, and Jackie Gleason plays a wealthy man whose son, over here, wants to purchase Richard Pryor as his personal toy. Yeah, like that's not problematic. Oh, and by the way, the young actor who played the kid, he eventually became a porn star. True story. All right, let me just get this over with. Right, so this was released by Columbia Pictures. There's Richard Pryor in the box. Notice this is the only one in my whole collection that doesn't have a rave review, like somewhere on the box. But it has special features. Got scene selections, interactive menus if you care. Yeah, this explains the movie. It has the credits. Ned Beatty was in it. That's right. I forgot about that. Just don't remind him. Also don't remind Richard Donner. He made it. Okay, let's just pop this open already. There's a DVD. So I guess this is another one of those two-sided ones where one side is widescreen. And then when you flip it around, it's the standard full screen. Tomato, tomato. And here we have the scene selection and yeah, the toy. Oof. Okay. Get rid of that. That's it. That's my DVD collection. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't know what I'll do next. Figure it out eventually. Okay, thanks. Bye.